All right, what is up? Welcome to Crown Council Live. Man, this is just becoming a habit, Chip, just every week, man.
Yeah, it's so fun.
So good. You and Jack held down the fort last week. Steve and I were on a webinar with Roadside Marketing. So grateful you guys would handle live stream. That's kind of the fun part about live stream is you never know what you're going to get. We're just whatever happens. So,
Yeah.
hey, grateful for all of you that are joining us live. As a reminder, this is a recorded program also. If you don't get the opportunity to watch it live, we have 98% of the watchers watching it recorded on the Crown Council website. So we're grateful for those that are live. You can chat, send in questions on Facebook, on crowncouncil.org, or on YouTube. So all of them we're streaming live and trying to connect with our great community of Crown Council docs and team members. So it's just another fun way to create this fun community and great group of people that connect from all over the country. So, Chip, how was last week? Any highlights from last week?
Man, last week was great. We had Greg did just an awesome outline of where the Smiles for Life money goes, how it's utilized, all of the details from top to bottom, and it is really interesting to listen to that. So recommend checking that out for sure. That was really fun going through that.
Yeah, and I watched Ed White. So Ed came on, close to $600,000 in donations for total giving from White Family to Elizabethtown Dental. Incredible amount of, like, I ask myself sometimes, like, how in the world did that practice create enough opportunities to to whiten people's teeth year after year after year? Like, that's always such a funny thing. And I know you guys talked about it with him, is how do you continue to whiten and create donations year after year after year? So very cool to hear from Ed.
Way cool. I thought that most interesting. He said it just has become a part of our culture inside our practice. And I think that is the secret sauce, is just that once it is fully integrated and into the team members, it just becomes second nature.
Very fun. Hey, a couple housekeeping items before we welcome our first guest. So our first guest is going to be our Smiles for Life guest that's going to report on all the things that they are doing for success in Smiles for Life. Then we'll bring on one of our resource partners to answer some very common questions that we're seeing constantly through the email network. We're going to bring Lane on from Perspective Marketing. And then Steve Anderson and Susan Pruitt will join us to talk about Leadership Academy through Total Patient Service. You might have seen Leadership Academy, and we're going to talk about what happens there, who is invited, what you learn, and maybe some things to prepare to attend Leadership Academy. But before we go there, we have some super big, I guess it's a big announcement. Next week on the live stream, we are going to do $1,000 giveaway. We're calling it our grand giveaway. Everyone that is attending the annual event, that signed up to attend the annual event, received a mailer last week. And in that mailer, it talked about the instructions for participating in this contest. So it's only for people that are currently signed up to attend the 28th annual event. And in doing so, your name has been entered into a drawing to win $1,000 in our live stream next week. And you got to be there to win. So we're gonna send out some instructions on how to win, who's eligible, and then obviously there's no strings attached. This is just like $1,000. I guess we're gonna mail. I doubt we'll mail money, but it's a $1,000 sign up. So sign up for the annual event, get you a place in the drawing. And we'll do it next week live on live stream. So that'll be
so fun. Stu, I understand we have like a wheel that we're going to be spinning.
Just old school carnival wheel. We're going to spin it and pull $1,000. So anyway, that's next week. Hey, well, we've got Kim in our waiting room. I'm going to bring her in. Kim is going to talk to us about their efforts with Smiles for Life. She's from Twin Peaks Family Cosmetic Dentistry, and Twin Peaks. We met Kim at the Dental Digital Marketing Conference. Hey, Kim.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hey, gosh, so good.
Good. So we met Kim in Salt Lake a couple weeks ago at the dental marketing conference, and they had so many fun, great ideas for what they're doing for Smiles for Life, how they're engaging their clients and their community. And we thought, what a great opportunity to have Kim come and share for just a few minutes, Kim, what you guys are doing and how you manage Smiles for Life. So welcome, Kim. Grateful to have you.
I'm so excited. I just told Dr. Butler when I just left him, I said, are you ready to have a Crown Council celebrity in your office? 5 minutes.
This is it. You are live streaming to the world. So Kim, maybe give us a little rundown of why you're what is it that draws you into Smiles for Life? Why do you guys do it every year?
So it's really, I feel like it's a good opportunity. Every office, lots of places, whether it's dental specific or not, want to do good. They want to feel part of something, but sometimes that can feel so big to tackle and it can almost feel unmanageable. And it's like, where do you start? Who do you start with? Like, surely, especially right now, lots of places need help. Lots of people need help. And how do you kind of get a big reach by just being a small office? Like, we're a single doctor practice. It's not as if we have this huge reach to really be able to do good on kind of a large scale. And this is huge. It's incredible. Of course, it's part of Crown Council. And after we had left the annual event, I was like, we're doing it. Like, that's it. We're like going all in. It just feels good to be part of something that's bigger than what we could singularly create, you know?
I love that. Very good. What is it that you guys are doing that's making the campaign successful this year?
So that is such a good question. And I think it's bigger than just like wearing the purple shirts once a week and hanging the flyers up in your practice and posting on social media. But it's more to me about making sure that my team has enough knowledge and resource to understand, first of all, what and who, and so they can answer the questions and so that they feel really empowered by having conversations with patients or with outside of the practice, you know, like at work, or if they run to the grocery market after work and they're wearing their purple shirt, like they feel like they are the CEO, they're the leader of this campaign. And I think really empowering my team to pack their brains full of knowledge about Smiles for Life and about the local charity that we have chosen is a big piece of success, you know, going forward with starting Smiles for Life. I also this year was the first year that Dr. Butler purchased the practice in August last year from another Crown Council member. And so we kind of had the opportunity to fully drive and pick the charities.
Nice.
We, our team come together and Dr. Butler and I met, and it's like, how do we do this and do it right? And we decided to let our team kind of look through charities that they liked or local nonprofits. And then the whole team came together, and it allowed us to have an opportunity to really learn about our team, bigger picture than just like who they are in our practice, because they're a whole person and there's a lot of pieces that go into the people that you work with every day. And if you find something they're passionate about, like, no doubt about it, it's going to be a huge success. And even though, of course, we could only pick one charity, one nonprofit, and it didn't matter if it was, you know, my hygienist or the front desk or a dental assistant whose charity it was. What mattered is that it was important to somebody on their team, like somebody they care about. So now we have a real big reason to do good. Like, it's huge. So I think that's the biggest piece for us.
Very cool. Very cool. If you didn't know it, if you're not following, Kim is one of the only practices. This is an encouragement, Kim, a plug for everyone else. Kim's rocking Instagram Reels and TikTok Reels. You're one of you guys are crushing. Is that all your brainchild, Kim? Is that all you that puts that together?
Yes. And I am like always scrolling and like thinking of things, and all of a sudden he's like, you could do that. Like, that's good. or okay, yeah, let's do that one. But otherwise, I just love that. And I feel like too, nowadays, when you search out for somewhere, you're looking at like their social media platforms, and you're looking at like their engagement with like other places. Like I always try to engage with like the high schools that are local to us and like our patients and all of those pieces. And then when they come back to our page, it's like, oh my gosh, they're fun. Like they're doing cool stuff. It's not just like showing like dentistry before and after. That's not always fun to see. It's yeah, I'm always doing something fun. And Dr. Butler is always like, whatever, like, okay, sounds good. Enjoy.
Nice. That's good. If you were going to share one thing, one idea that you're doing with the rest of the Crown Council membership, what would it be that you're doing that makes Smiles for Life whitening successful?
That's what I was going to say, back to letting your team kind of be the driver of who you're doing good with, and really partnering with the nonprofit or the charity that you're using, because there's lots of places, that you can just cut a check to every month, or you can, make your charitable contribution. And lots of people do it, and it's still incredible. But having a really clear, defined partnership with the charity or nonprofit that you're using is huge. And I think really understanding that it shouldn't always just be the exact same one. If you feel like the partnership has potentially lost its zest, and if you don't feel like you're continually partnering with these companies and really getting as much as you can in your effort to do good, then redefine what that looks like and allow your team to come to the plate with lots of places. And even if you don't choose another option, you're still learning so much about your team. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces for us that we really try to focus on, is focusing on the whole person and not just the person at the office, because we're a team of whole people. So just really including your team, including, places that are outside of the practice for your nonprofit and your charity. That would be my biggest piece, and making sure that everybody is knowledgeable, because there is nothing worse than being like, what's this for? And the person is like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Up these signs, and you could buy a bleach, and you know it. And you have to be like 100%.
Nice. Well, we can't wait to honor you guys. Hopefully, I know you're going to be at the annual event in Salt Lake City. Do you guys have a big goal for Smiles for Life? Are you trying to hit a number?
Dr. Butler says 5,000, but I'd be happy with anything more than 5, only because I'm the rebel mindset with Gretchen. Dr. Butler's a questioner, so I have to be like the rebel and like pushing him like a little bit further.
I like that.
No matter what we do, it's still incredible to know that we're doing good and in multiple facets. So I'm excited just to be part of it.
Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
You've given more than I told you would. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. I'm so excited to again in Salt Lake.
Thanks, Kim. Appreciate it. Okay, bye-bye. Chip, I feel like, incredible information, and their brand. I know it's a brand new office, first year. I'm going to send her a text. I'm going to say, you got to do 10,000. We got to honor them on the stage at annual event.
They have way too much momentum for only 5,000.
I know, man. Good for her. Yeah. Hey, there was one thing I thought of. Next week when we do the $1,000 giveaway, you were going to announce a few things. We don't have to go into all the dirty details right now, but obviously people are coming to Salt Lake City for the annual event. And maybe you could share a few things that we're working on. People are asking about winter activities when they come here for the 28th annual event. So maybe just spend a minute or two what you've got cooked up.
Yeah, for sure. Many have been interested in what ski opportunities would be available if coming into the annual event, perhaps a couple days early. So we will broker, if you will, better pricing and arrangements for rentals, and kind of provide the go-tos for accommodating those that want to ski at the annual event. For those that are not wanting to ski but still get into the high elevation outdoors, we are putting together a snowmobiling expedition with an expedition company that we have worked with in the past, and can take a team of up to like 40 sleds, even 50 total, take you to the top of some really cool lookouts, eat lunch. You don't have to worry about having all the gear from helmet to warm clothing. They provide all the above as well as guides, so it's super safe. So that would be another option as well,
Nice.
to enjoy the Salt Lake snow.
Great. And we'll probably, I mean, when we announce it next week, we'll have a better idea of when, but this will be pre-annual event. So Tuesday, Wednesday, we probably won't roll into Thursday, but we'll have more information come. But I thought that was kind of fun. It's it's rare we come to a, Salt Lake. This is only the third time we've been here for an annual event. So it's fun to have that on the docket. So anyway, hey, we've got Lane from Prospecta Marketing sitting in the wings. We're going to let him in out of the waiting room. And just to give a brief introduction to Lane as he's getting on, Lane runs Prospecta Marketing, which is what we're going to ask him about today, which is interesting, is it's not just dental digital marketing, it's profit focused. So Lane has an incredible way of tracking and knowing if what you're paying for is working when it comes to online marketing, whether it's Google or pay-per-click. And that for me, if I was a dentist, knowing if it's working, what's not working. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about that today. So welcome, Lane.
Hey,
Lane.
thank you. Good to be with you.
Glad you made it. I know Lane called me about 20 minutes ago and said, I don't know how far away is it like a dangerous drive from your house to your office? Lane was planning on doing it at his house, but ran out of power. Power went out. So
A windy day today. I think the trees are falling.
well, we got snow. So Salt Lake City got snow last night up in Chip? Like it dusted the mountains. It's still winter here. May 12th. So anyway, Lane, grateful you'd be with us. We gave a brief introduction of what you do as a business, but maybe you could talk a little bit about, just expand a little more. When we were together at the Digital Dental Marketing Conference, one thing that was extremely apparent is, man, have a plan, be present, be on Google, do all these things. But then how do you even know if it's working? I mean, no one knows if all that money spent is worth who is coming in because of it. Can you talk about that for a minute? Like how you as a company know if it's working?
Yeah, really good question. And, as you mentioned, Stu, it's really important. Those people are going online because they want what you have to offer. So it's important to be visible and be present. And so kind of the basic starting point is make sure that you've got good SEO or organic presence. Make sure you're doing some pay-per-click advertising, and make sure you've got really great presence on your Google Business Profile and the other local listings. And then, is it working is a key question that I think, as you said, every dental practice has. So a good starting point at just a general level is to make a rule in your practice that no lead is going to go into your dental database without a referral source. So you just say, anytime a new patient comes in, we're going to make sure that referral source goes in there. And then on at least a global level, how many new patients have come in from all the sources that bring you new patients, from referrals, from the internet, from if you're doing other media or direct mail, whatever it is, you'll know where those are coming from. But today, I think it's becoming more and more important to know what's working and what isn't. So, in terms of the internet, what keywords are working, what times of the day and days of the week are bringing you in your best patients. And third, what geography is making sense? Where do we focus that marketing? And you may have areas within your reasonable market area that people could drive from. They're doing spectacularly and getting a 50, 60, 70 times return on what you're spending. And you may have other areas that aren't even paying for themselves. So, understanding what's working and what isn't is becoming critically important to make that more profitable in a very competitive landscape. More and more people are going online because that's where people go.
Well, and it's interesting too. Every time I hear you present, the target is also moving. Like Google is constantly changing the way that works. I mean, you all of a sudden everybody gets a grasp on how the search engines are finding you or presenting the results. And that's what I love about you and Brent and your team, is that you always have that one step ahead of knowing what is the algorithm, or I don't know what you call it, like the science behind that search engine result. Which I love to always hear about that it's changing and what's going on. So
here's an interesting thing we found recently. Within the last couple of years, it's been possible to put tracking numbers on the Google Business Profile. Okay, it used to not be a best practice, but today, if you know how to code that properly on your website, you can do that. So we've been seeing how many people, and a lot of doctors say, wow, my reviews have really made a difference. People talk about them when they come in. What's happening is people are finding you through search engine optimization. They're finding you through ads, but then we're finding that they're coming back and checking those reviews to see what other people say about this practice. And we've been amazed. 20 to 60% of the leads coming into most practices are jumping off of that Google Business Profile or other local listings. It's amazing. And what that says is those reviews are critically important for conversion power. They're looking at those to say, hey, what do other people think that have been into this practice, and is it a great place to come? And so that's an important place to focus some energy as a practice, is just to make sure that you're putting not only a large quantity of reviews, but that they're fresh. You're putting in a good fresh quantity of reviews on your Google Business Profile and other places every month.
Very cool. Lane, you do a very specific, interesting thing, and have for years as a Crown Counsel resource partner. I've never met anyone else that does what you do, in the sense of there's a lot of opportunities for doctors to pick companies that market, but the way that you manage the marketing is really talked about highly by your clients and some of the best Crown Counsel doctors out there. So big kudos to you for what you do for this group.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We love to help practices grow. And we have found, we developed a tool a while back that allowed us to help give dentists visibility to what's working and what isn't. So anytime somebody contacts you through your website or through a local listing like Google Business Profile, it registers in here. And then we get a download from your dental database at night, so that we've now got this continuous string of data from the time somebody first searches to the time we can see whether they became patients and how much revenue they generated for the practice. And the value of that is, on a monthly basis, we can share with the dentist, hey, here's your profitability. Here's how much revenue you brought in. Here's how much we spent, and here's your return. But more importantly, we can go back and do this kind of analysis I was talking about. We can go in and see which keywords are working, how much we spent, how much revenue those brought in, and what your return is on, how did cosmetic dentistry do versus teeth whitening versus et cetera. And then we can also look at every day of the week and see what our return is by day. We can look at every hour of the day and see what hours are bringing in your best patients, so we know when to advertise. And then also we can do the same thing with geography. So we can look at every zip code that's bringing in new patients to your practice, and we can see what the return is by zip code. So what that allows you to do then is say, okay, here's some stuff that's really working well. And you know what, here's some stuff that's hardly paying for itself. Let's take the money out of there and let's redeploy it into the areas where it's doing well, and maybe even retarget some of our search engine optimization. And so you just are in this cycle of continual improvement that helps you see a better and better return on what you're investing.
Very good. That's awesome. Hey, if you want to get in touch with Lane, the easiest way to do it is through the Crown Counsel membership portal. So in your hub, you'll see the resource partner. It's added to every premium members portal. Go down to click on resource members, and you can search for Lane and Prospecta Marketing to connect with him and his team. So thanks, Lane, for joining us.
Hey, thank you. Been awesome to be with you.
Okay, appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
All righty. Take care.
Okay, bye. It's like doing marketing with a rifle instead of a shotgun, instead of just
It is.
blasting off yellow page ads. It's crazy he can be that specific with keywords, time of day, what day. That's pretty exciting stuff.
It is. Yeah. It's too hard for a business owner, or in our case, the dentist, to track, manage, monitor this information, and therefore to put it in someone's hands that has been trusted by the Crown members for so long. It makes you feel a lot better.
I agree. All right, Chip, we're going to bring in our last guest. So Steven Anderson and Susan Pruitt are going to join us. Grateful that they'd spend the time to be on with us. I know Steve and Susan, I think they're broadcasting from two different places, but they are part of the same team, the Total Patient Service team. And we are going to talk today with them about a live meeting called the Leadership Academy. Hey, Steve.
What's up, boys?
What's up? Welcome. Hi, Susan.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. Very grateful that you would join. The internet is stable. All feeds are looking good. So
Love it.
Although Lane had to drive down from his house. He lost his power at the last minute this morning. So we're grateful we had him on. So.
He chose that problem when he chose.
He did. I agree.
He lives at 8,000 feet, and there crazy things happen at 8,000 feet when you're outside of Denver.
Yeah, he said, "Oh, it was the wind." I'm like, "What? What are you like up in the?" Yeah, he's up in the trees.
He's up in the treetops.
So twice a year. And tell me how long Leadership Academy has been. How long have we been doing it for twice a year?
Yeah,
long time. Years. So twice a year, and I'll let them share the history of how it started and the need behind Leadership Academy. But twice a year, a group of teams and doctors come together for what we call Leadership Academy. It's practice planning, personal development, roundtable thinking, vision to expand your thinking on leadership, to expand your team's thinking on how to lead and be a leader in the practice. Because if there's one thing I've learned, leaders are rarely just, well, you're a leader. Congratulations. You have to become a leader. You have to train and think about it and set goals and be that leader in your practice. And so Leadership Academy was born. Is that a good story?
That's good. That about wraps it up. Yeah, that about wraps it up. Thanks, Stu.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. I mean, what was the need behind, we're doing Total Patient Service Institute and Total Immersion, and then all of a sudden you said, we need to have a Leadership Academy. How was that born?
Yeah, so in TOPS coaching, we've got the whole TOPS coaching team that is out in the field every day in dental practices. They're all in practices today around the country, implementing skills, training the team. And what became very, very clear is that the top practices, the best practices, had the best leaders. There was no coincidence that it takes great leadership skills. And that's not just the dentist. That is in practices, the best practices where team members step up and they take a leadership role in their position. They take personal leadership in the practice. So this is a space and a time set aside where dentists can come together with key team members. And we have 2 concurrent sessions that run at the same time, where the dentists are working on the practice and working on specific things for the future of the practice, their plan, their strategy. And the team member, that whatever position is that we're doing at the time, so this one coming up in October will be business assistants or front office team. They are working on specific skills to be better at their position and to take a leadership role in that area. So that's really where it came from. It is, from a sports standpoint, this is like spring training. I mean, this is like, taking a time away from the practice to really fine tune your skills, take them to the top, and lead the practice to a new level. That's the whole goal.
Very cool. And Susan, before we got on, you talked a little bit about what's been happening with Leadership Academy over the last 2 years. Can you maybe explain what's happened? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it has been crazy. Gosh, it's hard to believe. Steve has done an incredible job alongside our coaches to offer Leadership Academy online, which has just been incredible. And we've been doing that multiple times. But what we're most excited about is we have had so many requests to ask us, when will we be back in person? So we are thrilled in October to come to Dallas-Fort Worth area to be a part of with us face to face and being surrounded by people from all over the country that fly in to want to grow themselves as a leader, not only the dentists, but team members as well.
Nice. I remember, Steve, I can't remember where we were going, but we were going to a big dental meeting, maybe in Vegas, and we were riding in a cab, and you said to me, there's something inborn, like inside of us, that just desires to gather together as a group. Like there's digital, that's fun, that's great. But when you finally bring everybody together, there's something, I would say, I mean, magical. Is that a good word? I don't know. There's something that happens when we are together as a group that you cannot replicate in any other way.
Well, and that's backed by science, actually, that we're wired to do the human experience together. The longest ongoing study on life expectancy that continues to this day at Harvard University, and they've studied every variable, everything from diet, exercise. I'm sure cycling was in there, boys, somewhere. Too big cycler, but they've looked at every possible variable that impacts life expectancy, and they've narrowed it down to one variable that has the biggest impact on life expectancy, and that's connectedness. In other words, how many and the quality of the interpersonal relationships that a person has, and that's not just, family, but that's professional as well. Connecting has huge, not only impact for the business, but also for just health and longevity. So what everybody knows this, and it almost goes without saying, and it bears mentioning, is I'd say 80% of the magic that happens at Leadership Academy is not what we do from the front of the room. We present and lay the groundwork from the front of the room. Much of the work and the learning and the development takes place in small groups that work together, exchanging ideas, sharing what they're coming up with, sharing their plans, getting feedback from other people. They're the mirror, if you will, and everybody shares their experience. So it's a mastermind type experience where you not only learn from what's being taught, but you learn from each other. And you have the opportunity to do some of the teaching. Let me share just a quick experience of that. A part of the magic is most are familiar. 7 or so years ago, I had double jaw surgery to correct a genetic airway obstruction, and it changed my life. It was an amazing, amazing experience. And as a result of that, I was wired shut for my jaw was wired shut for 30 days. And it was only then that I discovered the psychological power of verbal communication. When you don't verbally communicate, it will mess with your brain. And I experienced that firsthand. And what it taught me was that your thinking process is not just a thinking process. It's impacted by your communication. So when you have to verbalize a thought, it impacts the thought. It clarifies the thought, and it causes you to think about it in a different way. And so part of this whole experience is giving leaders, and that's all of us, an opportunity to think through strategies, goals, where they're going next, implementation of systems, and have to explain that of what they're going to do. And that impacts the thought process and ultimately the quality of the plan. So this is a very interactive experience where everybody is doing all the time. And Susan will share with you, we have dentists, especially, that come to this session after session after session, because it's the place where they connect, they develop their strategy for moving forward, and it is part of their success strategy for themselves, as well as some of their key team members. So for this one that we've got coming up in October, we are calling it a growth summit. And the reason is this: with everything that's happened in the last 2 years, a lot has changed. The economy is very, very different today than it was 2 years ago. The hiring environment, very, very different. What's going on with insurance companies is very different. There's so many things that have changed and is so radically different. And so this whole session is going to be focused on growing your practice in now a new economic environment that didn't exist 2 years ago. And remapping out that strategy and that plan. We're actually going to go through an exercise where all that is going to be written down and shared to have a plan that's based on today's reality to move forward and grow your practice.
Cool.
Very cool. What if, I mean, I know that this is what if I don't know anyone, it's going to be scary to come. Like, I don't know how to interact. I mean, that is like, you are talking about an experience where you're interacting and spending your weekend with people, sharing, talking about goal. I mean, like, do people come who don't know anyone? Like, who is the crowd made up of?
Susan?
Well, there's people coming from all over the country, first of all, Stu. And yes, people come and they don't have any idea who's going to be there. But I can tell you from the minute they walk in, they have automatically met a new friend. Whether you are the dentist or whether you are a business assistant team member, you will leave with more friends than you walked in the door, hands down. So I would encourage anyone out there who wants to grow as a leader. And I know I had shared with Steve, I get calls all day long that people ask me, well, I don't have a leadership team, so who should come? Well, everyone should come because everyone on your team can be a leader.
Oh.
If you don't have any leaders on your team, you really got a problem. You got to talk. Well, and I'll tell you, this is one of the key things is we're in a different employment environment today than we were 2 years ago. And one of the retention secrets is giving people the opportunity to grow. And that's what this is all about, is giving team members the opportunity to grow into a position, grow up, and make a personal and professional impact on the practice. We're never done. There is always more to learn. There's always more to do. And so if you want to attract and keep the best talent in dentistry, be the place where they're learning and growing and can expand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stu, I actually had someone say to me when they left is, I am leaving believing that I can make a difference.
Nice.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about. It's when you're with other like-minded people that want to grow themselves, of having that encouragement. That's something else I hear all the time. Gaining the knowledge to be a leader and then having the encouragement to step out of where you are to go make it happen.
Nice. Steve, maybe you could rehearse to us just the schedule, like what happens when you go.
Got it. So everybody comes in Thursday evening, whatever time you want to get in. We start first thing Friday morning, and we usually will start with a combined session. So this time we'll have the front office team. So we'll have a combined session to kick things off. We'll lay the groundwork for the 2 days we're going to be together. Then the whole 2 days we split up, we get back together, and there's a whole series of exercises based on the work that the dentists are doing, the work that the front office team is doing, where then ultimately by the time we get done on Saturday, then there will be a combined effort to look at the revised, updated business plan, in this case, growth strategy that we'll be developing, that the dentist and the front office team will be in lockstep together to go back and roll out to the whole rest of the team. So it is a lot of fun. It is a lot of work, and it will challenge. One of the things I love about it is it challenges everybody's thinking to get beyond what they're doing on a daily basis and look at what they want it to be like a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and put the plan in place to do that.
Yeah.
One of my most favorite things about Leadership Academy, and maybe you missed this, is that each team member in the practice is invited on a different session. Susan, maybe could you talk about how you came up with that idea and how that impacts those that attend?
Absolutely. One of the things we realize is when we focus on certain area of the team members, they are able to collaborate with other people that do what they do every day. So for example, all business assistants, business admin teams are coming together. Other times we have the hygienists and the dental assistants, and we focus just on them. So this allows for leadership within certain areas of your practice to grow.
Yeah.
And are there repeat offenders here? Do people come?
All
Are
the
people
time.
come all the time?
Absolutely.
Yeah, my question is, do you ever stop growing as a leader?
No. So people come back they come every single time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And they can't wait for the next one. People are leaving saying, how soon are we going to do this again? Because of the difference it makes, not only in their practice, but what it does in their own personal life.
Yeah. And like Steve said, the landscape is so different for this year than for those that have been the last few years. There's so many recent changes. Like you can't not come to learn what is
that's one thing over the last 2 years. In fact, there was one point in the middle of the height of the pandemic, we were doing Leadership Academy as many as 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, just trying to help everybody navigate through what was going on. So it's been very tactical, I'd say, the last 2 years, dealing with whatever the issues are at the moment. And so this now is an opportunity to get together in person and really look at the path ahead to say, okay, we've been through a lot and tactically we move through it. Now, what does this look like moving forward? And how are we going to change the long-term plan to make it all work?
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I just had one. Is there any success stories that stand out? Anybody that you can think of that has kind of blossomed from Leadership Academy?
Well, I'll share. Susan has a bunch. I'll share one with you. Dennis Lachorick down in Florida. And Dennis is a huge Leadership Academy fan. In fact, he called me a few months ago and he says, okay, I'm coming to Dallas in the fall for Leadership Academy. So put it on the calendar. He goes, I am ready to get back face to face.
Nice.
And have a conversation with my colleagues. And, Dennis is one that has expanded from 1 location to now I think he's up to 5. And this is one of the real strategic things he uses to clarify his thinking and update his plan and get feedback and really get out of, get the blinders off of being in it all the time and get away and take a fresh look at it. So, and that's really the design. There's no one practice type as much as it's taking the skills and putting them together to develop your own plan for what you want.
Anything to add, Susan?
Well, I was on a phone call yesterday with a young dentist who just bought his practice a year ago. And the number one thing he said, I know I need help with growing as a leader. He said, I've learned all the clinical skills from dental school, but what I'm missing is how to be the effective leader for my team and for my practice and for my own self. So, it was awesome to be able to share that. But I hear this all the time, whether you've been in practice for a couple years or you've been in there 20 years, people that are looking to grow can make a difference by gathering with other like-minded people who want to grow in their leadership skills.
We got to pull that doc aside for a video testimony when it comes to the meeting.
Yeah. Stu, one thing to make mention on that, what Susan just said, to bring it up to the membership, we onboard roughly 50 new young dentists per year, to Susan's point. And you could be asking the question, how early is too early or too soon for me to attend the Leadership Academy? And it's like, man, let's hit the ground running.
Come as a dental student.
Yeah.
And Spencer, I'm so glad you brought that up, because when you walk in this room, that I am always amazed every single time when we have Leadership Academy, you will see all ages. You will see people that are fresh out of school. And of course, you can tell that. And you will see the people that have been in the business for 30, 40 years that continue to want to grow. So you're exactly right. Whether you are young or you've been doing this for a long time, and the opportunity to learn from each other. I can think of specific cases of people that have come that have linked up with someone who has been in their career for like 15 years. And you will see people like David Montz that's talking to a young dentist to mentor him from the leadership side. So that's just a really great point that you make to share. Yes, it is an opportunity, whether you've been out a short amount of time, or I'll take it all the way when you see the age difference from a long time as well.
Very cool. All righty, Leadership Academy team. Anything else to add before we let you go?
Yeah. So 2 things. Susan, will you share with them how they sign up?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You can go to totalpatientservice.com and you just click down where it says register under seminars, and you will find Leadership Academy, and it will tell you all about it. We even have where you can stay there. It's going to be at a hotel. All the accommodations will be right there for you. And if I can help, you are welcome to reach out to me as well. You can call our 800 number, or you can call me personally. I am here to tell you more about it and how we can make it happen.
Yeah, if you don't make any friends at Leadership Academy, you at least will make a friend with Susan.
Absolutely.
All righty. Thank you. Appreciate you both very much.
Guys.
Yes.
Thanks so much, guys.
Okay, thanks.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye. Chip, as we wrap up Leadership Academy, I've been to many. Incredible experience. Like, it really is a fun thing to focus on, taking that time to focus on growing your practice. Like, you have to work on the practice, not just work in it. And that is one of the best opportunities to do it, is to work on your practice by working on the leaders that are part of the team. So I can't recommend it enough. An incredible experience to watch it. If you go to the Total Patient Service website, there's a 4 or 5 minute video I wanted to play here today, but I would encourage you to go watch it, to listen to the doctors who participate and team members. It is worth attending. So
Totally agree.
if I wasn't clear, I'm just going to do one more final. Next week, we are giving away $1,000 on this program to anyone who has signed up to participate in the annual event. So if you are signed up, your name is going into a raffle bin, and we are going to draw your name purely because you are signed up early to attend the annual event. It's our reward and gift to you. The fun part about it is it's $1,000, $1,000, and we are staying at the Grand America in Salt Lake City. So that was our play on words. So join us next week live, and we are going to pick a $1,000 ticket from the bin. Where should we do? How should we do this? Should we bring a child in to make sure that it's legal and set?
Yeah. I am trying to think the same things too. I'm just trying to see if you can see this wheel spinning from my camera, or we're going to need to have a big production stage.
I know. I mean, the first couple of live streams, we did them in Jack's studio together, side by side. I wonder if that would be a better. Anyway, we'll get it figured out. It's going to be fun to give away $1,000 next week. So, all right. Well, we're done a little early, which is okay. Jack always says it's okay. We're done. That's the beauty of our program here, is we can kind of move on and thank everybody for being with us. So thanks, Chip.
So good.
So good. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.